Mikey Mike, what you
What's
say,
going
man?
on?
Not much. Just hanging out. Got we're missing a guy tonight. Just letting you know. I don't know if I told you that. Eric
Yeah,
is
Eric
Alaska, doing what
Ooh,
rich people do. You know what I
on
mean?
vacation.
Vacationing like a baller. So,
Too
but that's
cold for me,
okay.
bro.
That's okay because he's super skinny, and what we're about to talk about today. Maybe he's not the perfect fit. So we've got somebody else, right?
Who we got?
Here's what we got tonight for everybody. We're going to be talking about how to eat right in this trade. And the guy coming on, I think's got a lot of experience on this, and I'm curious to hear what he's got to say. And man, we might be doing some like soul searching, deep diving, talking about some stuff that's going to be like, whoa, I can't believe I heard that on this show tonight, kind of stuff.
Nice.
So, without any further ado, everybody, welcome Curious HVAC guy from HVAC Overtime.
What's up,
Oh,
guys?
Mr. Bill.
What's
Hey,
up,
it's-
Bill?
What's up,
so
dude?
weird in here. It's so much different.
Yeah.
So much more like positive energy from you guys than the other guys I normally hang out with on a
Our room
weekly
is painted
basis.
like a light color. It's all positive.
I know. It's like,
You know what I mean?
I mean, I got this aura around me tonight.
Yeah.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Thanks for having me on. It's good to be
It
here.
might be the southern. We got a little southern
Yeah, maybe
sunshine
it's,
over here.
maybe it's that southern hospitality, or maybe it's my sunburnt from my run today, just radiating.
Yeah, it could be it too.
Bring a little sunlight to the show.
You got more sun on you than a solar panel today, I think.
Hopefully so.
Yeah,
Bill,
what's up
where
with
are you
that?
out of, bro?
Which
Where
is
you
weird
at?
because
What
the
state?
I'm
what's
from
that?
Michigan.
Michigan,
Yeah, just south of Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor. Okay, you over by? You by Flint?
No, Flint's about 2 hours north of me.
Gotcha.
Far enough that the water doesn't trickle down this far.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Bottled water, baby.
yeah.
Whew. So
know,
what are you running over there? Is it cold today?
Oh, it's actually warm. It rained
Nice.
earlier, and then it just like it must have hit like 80. Feels like 90 degrees. Like actually, this time of night, I usually don't wear sunglasses. I mean, I wear sunglasses at all weird times of the day, but usually this time of night I don't wear sunglasses. But it's so bright out, and the sun is hitting at such a perfect angle. I was like, I can't not wear sunglasses. I'll be squinting the whole time, and everybody's like, "Why is he so mad?" I'm like, but
I just can't get my lighting down right.
I want to get into talking about, man, working out, how to eat right. So, man, I could tell you, like when I was in the service van for years and years and years, eating right is such a challenge. And I remember watching this little commercial on my phone. I don't know if it's a TikTok or whatnot, but didn't Makita start coming out with a little microwave now? Like, is that what I'm seeing on TikTok?
I believe they have something. You know, like
Seriously? Has anybody seen that yet? Is that like
I've seen truckers. Like truckers have little tiny 12-volt microwaves and 120-volt microwaves that you can run off inverters, and they have all sorts of tricks. So it's
Yeah.
And the Makita one I think you're talking about is just battery powered, right? Or
Yeah,
something
well,
like that.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I mean, I remember watching the video and it just looked like it was battery powered, and I was thinking, man, that's really cool. Like,
And see, I don't know. I'm sort of very insensitive to things like the luxuries of food preparation to an extent. Like I have in my truck, I have one of these looks like a little like soft shell cooler almost, but inside of it, there's a heating plate. It just plugs right in your lighter, right? I use that in the wintertime.
Oh, nice.
oh
Like
yeah, that
maybe
sounds fancy.
once a year I bust it out. But like honestly, I didn't use that thing all last year. I haven't used it this year. Honestly, like
That's pretty cool.
all the food prep that I get, I just keep in my cooler and I eat it at basically whatever temperature it is. Like
Yeah.
it comes out of my house, goes into my van. It's usually not in my van long enough to freeze.
Right.
But it is like, and
In
again, I'm one
Florida,
of
we
these-
throw anything under the dash in the dash, and
Yeah.
it cooks to about like a 180. So
See,
you get a good cook down here.
and people are always like, well, that's going to spoil, that's going to go bad. I'm like, I think you undervalue our immune system for one, and I think you're just being a sissy. Like, I've straight eaten out of garbage before. I don't care. Like, if there's a food and it's above room temperature, it's too hot for me. All my
Yeah.
food's got to be room temperature. Hot is a temperature, not a flavor. All right, so just remember that.
Man, growing up, in the trade, my dad, for the longest time ever, all I can remember is him packing a sandwich every single day. Like
Mhm.
every day he packed a sandwich. And then I came along, right, as 18, 19-year-old service tech, finally get my truck. And what do? I pack a sandwich because I remember those days. It's like 30 minutes was all you got for lunch. Like that was it, right?
Oh yeah. See, I
So,
eat
like,
while I drive.
yeah, like going
Most
to a drive-through was like, man, it eat up more than 30 minutes nowadays. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
So-
you're spending now you're spending a lot more than you probably did back in your dad's day.
For sure. But I mean, I just remember it being such a like that was the way business was handled. At the time we were working for somebody. But we were always, how do I say this? This is going to sound kind of embarrassing, but we would work really, really hard. We could keep an 8-hour day and keep the pace for an 8-hour day all day. Like we were beasts in the trade. And then
Mhm.
later on in life, this is kind of about the time. I'll tell a short story. When we went into business with each other, I remember we went to Sam's and bought this huge box of animal crackers, right? And
Mm.
we ate chicken salad sandwiches and animal crackers every day because we were broke. We didn't have any money. We were just making it, right? And work was plentiful, and there was like money was about to start coming in hot and heavy, like checks. We were doing a lot of commercial work. It's like a 90-day turnover.
Oh,
For like
yeah,
90 days,
yeah.
we're eating like animal crackers and starving ourselves out, but still working like maniacs. But we were in great shape, right? I was around 200 pounds at that time. And I never forget, I told my dad, I said, the minute that box of animal crackers is gone, I am never, ever packing a lunch again as long as I live. And I'm telling you, I stuck with that pretty hard.
And see, honestly, like you don't necessarily need to pack a lunch all the time to be healthy. I mean, there's an argument to say that it is more cost effective and it's usually healthier only because depending on the person, I will say it's usually healthier, but you can easily go out to any restaurant. You can you can hit a Qdoba, Chipotle, even Panda Express. I mean, shoot, you can even go to Wendy's, and as long as you're making the right choices, you can still eat on the road and be healthy.
You can, but the serving sizes are big, right? Like if
Yeah.
I go to Chipotle and I get like a bowl meal thing,
That's what I get.
I'm going to get like every condiment they have, right? It's going to be loaded down, and I'm going to smash that thing for lunch because I got into a habit. This is where I was going with this.
Clear your plate.
Yeah, I was raised in a family where you clean your plate. Like you don't leave food on your plate.
You don't waste food, yeah.
You don't waste food in this house.
Nope.
Right? So you eat everything.
Whoop your ass.
Man. Yep.
All right, that's how you.
Those poor kids in China,
So like,
Mhm.
it didn't happen after like year 1, year 2, maybe even year 3, but like after a couple of years of just like eating out for lunch over and over and over, I got kind of chunky, right? I started 220 was the new normal, and then 225 is the new normal, and then before you know it, you slip into like
And
here
pretty
comes
soon,
like 235, and you're
like
like
that
"Oh,
old belt wore out, so you bought a new belt, and then you never even remembered like where that old belt used to be at, the marks on the old belt,
It's amazing. It's amazing what you can get used to, right? Like
True.
you start, I remember I was like in a large shirt, and then it's like, well, these shirts are running.
Large.
I'm just going to go to an extra large shirt because they're longer, they fit better. And the truth is, I was just
They've been
gaining
shrinking
weight.
more too for some reason.
Yeah. So it's like, you transition to an extra large shirt, and that's the normal. And you feel like, well, I'm a big guy. And people have always told me that my whole life. Chris, you're just a big guy.
You're just
you
big
know that?
boned. Yeah, you're just big boned, man.
You're just thick. You're big. You're tall. You're 6'3". It's like, yeah, I am, but I'm just chunky. Like, face it, like that's the truth.
I got a lot of muscle.
Fast forward many, many years, right? My wife gets me hardcore back into running, and I said, you know what? It's time to do something. And so that's when I trained really hard, and I went out for like a marathon. We ran the Disney 20th marathon. This has been 10 years ago.
Mm.
And man, I went from like 240 to probably 195 or something like that through that.
195.
Look, let me
Golly, bro.
Wow, pretty good.
I went back to a large t-shirt when that happened. Like Chris was, dude, I was super thin and it felt good, but I wasn't as strong. So I messed up somewhere because
But if you're a runner though, you probably had a runner's build, which is it's
right
toned to an extent, but I mean, you definitely have a different body composition at that point.
Oh yeah, like I'm gonna tell you, pushing up air handlers and addicts became way more challenging when I went back to 195 and was like not full of muscle. Right, I could run,
Mhm.
but I couldn't work it out like I used to. So I was lacking like the muscle build part of the training. So fast forward, I became a slouch again. I got chunky. I'm currently back in the extra large shirt and I'm weighing in. So this is where the story is going, and this is how it all spiraled. Are you ready? So, all right, I'm gonna get slightly personal.
Oh snap!
So let's go
Here we
back
go.
a few years, right? A few years.
This is the longest short story I've ever heard, by the way.
So I'm gonna go back a few years, and man,
Like-
this is me just coming like
Like when I was 5.
when
I
I
think
was
the Lord
5.
of the Rings saga was shorter than this.
So I went to the doctor because I was building a house at the time, and I was like really, really tired, and probably just putting too much on my plate. But at the same time, I was just like super tired, lethargic. Went to the doctor, and he said, "Hey, let's test your testosterone," and it was a little low. And he said, "Well, it's just a little low." He goes, "But being you're super, super tired," he's like, "I'm gonna give you testosterone medicine." And I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm over here just like, yeah, doctor knows best. Let's do
This
it.
was like 10 years ago, you said?
This is probably around the 10-year mark. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just had my first kid. He's, let's say he's 3 at the time.
And he
Right.
didn't give it to you on the side, right? Like a prescription and everything?
No, I think my dad deals with this issue. So I learned a little bit about what it's like to take it. So I took the shots because the cream can wear off on other people. And that I didn't want that.
Mm.
So I'm taking the shots. So like I literally get the shot. I take one shot. And man, let me tell you what, my temper went through the freaking roof.
Are you natural,
Really?
bro?
So this is what probably 2 days after taking the shot, I remember I'm in the process of building my house. I'm staying in my parents' mother-in-law house, and it hadn't been remodeled in a long
I mean, did your wife have to wear dark sunglasses more often?
time. We didn't go there. But my 3-year-old was there, and I had fixed him something to eat. And you know how aggravating it is when a kid won't eat what you cook for him?
100%.
Dude, drives me
Oh,
bonkers.
yeah.
So
I would kick you through the wall if you don't eat what I make.
So there's this kitchen island, right? That's there, and it's got Formica on it. And I never forget that, like, he says, "I don't want that," and I just took my fist, dude, and just bam on the Formica,
Hulk smash.
like Hulk smashed it, and I
Wow.
literally hit it so hard that the countertop popped, and the nails that were holding it internally popped straight through the Formica and broke it.
See, my
Yeah.
problem is I have granite at the house. So my story sucked.
Well,
Hit it
Lord.
and broke my hands.
I'm
My
telling you.
pinkies hurt still.
And I never forget looking at my kid's face, and he was just like, freaked out. I freaked him out. It was not good. And
Did you eat
then
his food though?
I don't remember, but
Eat your damn food, kid.
I'll tell you that
Mhm.
I remember being really embarrassed about it. I had this conversation with my wife, and I said, "Look, I was like, I'm just gonna have to be freaking tired." I'm like, because
Yeah.
that got out of control. Like
'Cause
I
you-
literally was having like an outer body experience that I couldn't even control with my child
So-
in front of me.
So that's what it's like to be Italian 24/7.
Mm.
So
Now you know.
My
I've had
Joe's
this
mad all the
chronic-
time on our show.
I've had
Uh-huh.
this chronic problem with being like tired a lot, and I don't know if it's
Right.
something wrong with me or not or whatever. But anyway, let's fast forward, and here we are. And
That's amazing because for a guy who just got done running, 10 miles today?
well, that's where I'm going with this. So fast forward. I'm going back about a week and a half right now. Okay. And I'm just like super tired. TEC, I do a lot of work behind the computer desk now. So I don't get out and install and stuff every day like I used to. So now I'm like, maybe not getting the sunshine. I don't know, but I'm like super tired. Dude, I could wake up out of bed and go right back to bed. Right. Like
Yeah.
that's how I felt. And I'm like, damn, I gotta do something. And I'm telling my wife, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. My wife's like, what do you want me to do? I'll motivate you. My wife's a big time runner. She runs a lot. She's a consistent marathon runner.
Like
That's
still
cool.
to this day, she does that. She maintains a regimen.
She doesn't run consistent marathons today, but she's maintaining. So she'll averagely go out and run a 10 or 15-mile run, just give or take, but she doesn't run like 26 miles. But if a race is coming up she wants to run, she'll scale up, run it, and then maybe scale back down. But maintaining 10 to 15 miles. So she's like, I'll push you if you want to. And so we tried that, but I just couldn't get enough push, right? Because we got 3 kids, man. Life's crazy. And
Yeah,
so
man.
I did what I've done before 10 years ago. I go to the doctor and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll go to a different doctor. I live in a new town. Maybe something will get checked out. Maybe there's something wrong. So I go do blood work. It comes back, and actually, let me rephrase that. I did blood work 6 months ago. My levels were just a little bit low. Then I did blood work 6 months later. My levels were fine. My doctor's like, look, your levels are fine. And she's like,
wow.
she's literally like, are you depressed? And I'm like, ma'am, I am probably the furthest away from depressed you will ever be in your life. You know, it's the truth.
And then what were the previous blood work readings? 6 months ago.
Low T. And
I'm trying to remember. My white blood cell count was just a little bit low, and she's like,
Okay.
she's like, we should probably monitor that. So then,
Yeah,
like, my
My
white
wife's
blood
got
cell
like a
count,
low iron or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but my white blood cell count was a little low. But that's
Okay.
also been a consistent problem in my life. But
Okay. That's the R22.
monitoring that. So my testosterone was in check, but it wasn't high. It was like barely in the green, right? Which I guess is plenty good. I don't know. So literally, my doctor goes, you know what? She's like, shit, I don't know what to do. She's like, here's what I would do. She's like, I'm going to prescribe you a mood medicine. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, if that's what you think we need to do here. So
mood medication for you?
yeah. So I'm like,
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
I'm like, is that so? I'm literally, dude, this is like
and a UV light.
I
So
feel
I
like
went-
I feel like
went
they
to-
don't know enough about the human brain to take something that's like it's so close to being almost
Right.
great. They're like, we're gonna give you this, and
Yeah.
we're like,
I'm
So
with you, Bill.
I literally go get it filled. This happened like 2 weeks ago. I go get it filled, and it cost me like $7 with insurance, whatever. And I look at the bottle, and there's this little QR code on the bottle, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna scan it and see if I can learn more about this drug
Yeah.
before I decide to just
Take
take
those side effects.
Yeah.
mhm.
it. Dude, I
suicide's in
scanned
there.
the QR code, and then I watched the video, which was like 2 minutes long. Which I should, you know what I should have did? I should have played it. And I
That
scanned
would
it.
have been awesome.
And I'll go get it. I mean, if you want to watch it. And dude, it freaked me out. And so I sent it to my wife because she's a nurse. I said, hey, watch this
Oh,
video.
there you go.
And so I didn't take it because I was going out of town. I was doing a training with NCI, and I was like, it says don't, the first time you take it, don't drive. And I was like, all right, well, I'll take it when I get back. And so I get back, and I'm having this like soul searching moment, and I'm like, I can't take that shit. I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. It's like something's not right. Like, I'm super happy person. I'm not gonna take a food pill to like work out, right?
I think out of all the things that would fall into the category of medical practice, the idea of mood enhancing and brain chemistry that they're messing with, that's the biggest thing. They're just like, well, we don't here. Let me what do I got? Take this. You take this. Tell me how you feel. And I'll write that down and we'll learn something.
I go to a lady doctor. So here's what I'll tell you. In her defense, I pushed her for something. I'm like, look, I need motivation. Like, I'm just tired and lethargic.
See, that's where you go like this. I just need something. I need a little something.
So
she's like, I got you, bro.
So me and my wife talk like,
step out the back.
Let's go like a week and 2 days before that. And we're laying in bed, and I tell my wife, I said, look, I'm like, I just can't take that. I'm like, something just doesn't sit right with me with this whole, like, this seems wrong. And my wife's like, well, I wasn't going to say anything. She goes, but I think I'm with you. You don't need to be taking that.
I'm glad you didn't.
All right.
I'm really glad you didn't.
So, and you know what? Somebody's like, let's watch it. I'll tell you what. Once I wrap up the story, I'll go get the bottle, let the guys chat. I'll let you watch the video. So, circling back about 1 week ago, I decided to fire off a group chat with a bunch of HVAC guys that I talk to on the regular. And I said, hey guys, like, I need motivation. Do y'all need motivation? You know what I'm saying? It's amazing how many HVAC people. Here's what I was going to say. HVAC people, like all these community groups, are helping each other in HVAC so much. I was thinking, man, could I build a little small army of HVAC people around me to like keep me motivated to go, like, and that's what we did.
I feel like there's a tight-knit circle of HVAC guys that just want to be better at HVAC in general. And also with that same mentality, some of those guys also wouldn't mind getting better at other things in their life as well.
Yeah,
so
I just reached
mindset or whatever it is.
Built a small circle. Bill's in that circle. Bill, I think you helped encourage this because you're part of. You're the one who knows about count calories and all this stuff.
I'm like, let's do it, bro.
So like we did it. We fired this thing up, and I'm gonna tell you, man. For the last week,
I've been off ice cream for like 5 days. I wasn't joking in the chat.
So I'm on fire, man, and I'm telling you, I have a history of being a runner, and I ran all week. And look, I'm not somebody who should run 10 miles right now, but I ran, but I can handle it, right? Like I'm a previous runner. I know what it takes to run 10 miles. I know how to not get hurt running 10 miles, but I'm not in shape for it. And so I went out today and knocked down 10 miles. And I was
there's this thing called muscle memory. So your body will adapt faster than, like, say, for example, me. Like we had a brief conversation before the show about running. And if I were to go out right now and run for 10 miles, I would probably die. Like literally, unless somebody's chasing me with a gun, I'm probably not going to run for 10 whole miles or even run and walk for 10 miles.
Yeah. So I can do demo construction. That's me. I could break down walls, 2x4, give me a baseball bat.
Just like run right through juggernaut style.
I run through walls. Bam. But dude, I don't know what it is about the running, man. I could put on my skates like I was telling you guys in the chat. I bought skates. I know Chris is very sensitive about that subject.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to bring it up, bro. But that was for me when I was like in the 90s, man. I would throw the skates on.
I just recently at a birthday party a couple months ago, I got in some roller skates in.
Nice.
Like I have abnormally large feet, right? And so my daughter's like, "Come skate with me, Dad." I'm like, "All right, I'll go see if they have skates. If they do, I will. If not," so I'm like, I'm hoping like they don't have skates my size. Turns out they did.
Throw it out there, man. It took me 2 hours and 28 minutes to knock down 10 miles. But you know what? Here's what I'm saying.
2 hours.
I wasn't going for the time limit thing, man. I was just I was wanting to see 10 miles out.
Yeah.
It took me 3 hours. I was going to go.
That's running and walking though, combo.
Yeah, that's running. Yeah. That's definitely running and walking.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, bro. The skating rink, man. I'm loving it.
Like I tell you, I
went to my 6-year-old.
I'm gonna go get a bottle and see if I can pull up that video.
Yeah, we could talk about skating.
And then we're gonna let Bill tell us how to like control ourselves.
Well, we can get into that here in a little bit. I got a couple of notes to keep us sort of on topic. But that one time I went roller skating, my hip flexors were just so ripped the next day from the whole, like, I don't even know what kind of motion you call it, but like the outward of outward push of your legs and your hips.
The push, yep.
Man, oh man, I felt like I had geriatrics disease or something the next day. I was like,
but you're right, bro. Like when I got back up on that horse, bro, I was like pushing.
Oh man, I remember the next day I like came out of a job site and some old guy was yelling at me like, "What are you doing parking in the handicap spot?" I'm like, "Dude, it was leg day yesterday, bro. I mean, my hips hurt. Like, cut me a break. I'm roller skating. I can't walk that far. You know, like, what are you gonna do?" I feel like the day after leg day, it should be like, okay, like, hey man, I can park in handicap spaces today only because I worked out my legs yesterday. Like, that's it. Shorter distance to the door.
I almost got out there with the 6-year-olds, man, and I almost went for the the rally race on the birthday party.
Oh yeah, no, see,
I was gonna smoke them.
I can go straight, kinda. Turning is tricky.
Yeah,
turning was the tricky part of like trying to turn consistently, where I'm like, I'm scooching one foot and I'm like, I got it, but it wasn't pretty.
The quads, because Chris got in trouble on the quads, man. We don't want to go down that story. There's back. So dietary plan. Yep, that's what I'm talking about, Bill.
Food is good for your body.
All right, so y'all want to watch this video?
I want to see how many times they tell you you're going to kill yourself in it.
I think we should crash. Is it Chris's birthday party?
Oh yeah, yeah. HVACR videos.
I think
So
we
this
should
is
crash it.
literally like this is what came on the bottle right here, the little QR code. Check this.
I'm gonna
out.
guess three things. One, it's gonna be a side effect is gonna be more depression somehow, diarrhea, and suicide.
A little,
Here
diarrhea,
we
a
go.
little sprinkle of diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, letting it rip.
Can't hear it.
Audio.
Oh man, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that.
That's all right. That's
Like,
all
is
right.
that the spokesperson for saltine crackers? That is the whitest white guy I've ever seen. Look at that guy.
All right, let me try that again.
That's like Bill, the science guy.
Man, look at
He's
that
not
dude.
not really a doctor.
No, there's no way. He's definitely a paid actor.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor by trade, but listen to me.
Wonder why. Let me try it again. See if it'll play audio.
Mm. No, I can't hear it.
Can
All I hear is that he's trying to sell opium.
I can pretend to.
bummer, man?
Should we mount it like Science Theater 2000, Bill?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Let me try. Well, y'all keep going. I'll see if I can't figure out a way to pull that down.
Yeah.
But going back to a quick thought that we had kind of touched on before Chris started his 27-minute long short story. Like food prep became a thing for me because of fast food and because of the temptation of fast food and sort of the lack of self-control. And it became easier for me to just like, I can plan my days out. I don't have that fancy of a palate. I can eat basically the same thing every day. So I just calculate my calories and I figure it out. And then I just prep it. And for me, going back to like the whole keeping things cold, keeping it warm. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. I mean, I don't need to heat it up. I don't need to have piping hot food for lunch, or I'm like, oh, it's going to ruin my day. I'm going to cry in my pillow at the end of the night if I don't have a hot meal.
I'm
at
with
lunch.
you, man. I throw like 2 eggs in the cooler. I'll throw like a granola bar because, dude, I will go to Chipotle and I will get that burrito that's the size of a small baby, and I will eat the whole thing.
And see, the other thing going along with that is my budgeting. I've sort of become a little bit of a tightwad because I spend too much money on eBay stuff, which is all this stuff behind me. So I have to really tighten
some
my
cool stuff, bro. I see
I got-
little X-Men in there, little
I just
Spider-Man.
got where did I put it? I can't even remember where I put it. Oh, I got some little flippy cars from McDonald's toys from the 90s that I've been wanting for a while. The little Tiny Toons, I think, the Looney Tunes, the Tiny Toons.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a sweet add-on. But so like for budgetary reasons, I stopped going to restaurants and I did a lot of prep. And speaking of food prep, the one thing I learned this the hard way over here, because sandwiches were my big go-to. I'd get sandwiches and then I would get vegan hamburgers. And I would make sandwiches out of that just because I was going for volume and protein. And not that I care about killing cows or chickens or whatever, F them cows. I just wanted more protein per like ounce of whatever it was I was eating. And these cheap vegan chemical made hamburger pucks that they have,
Oh, to get
super
the
loaded with protein. Yeah, they're like they look just like a hockey puck. 90 calories, like 20 grams of protein though. So I'm like, you can't beat that. But what I would learn through these years of doing food prep is things like food prep in a sandwich, man. Sandwiches get so soggy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We got some audio now.
All right. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. Let me know if it doesn't.
Get that actor up.
Let's take a minute to talk about your
There we go.
medication. This is Bupropion XL, also known by its brand name, Wellbutrin. It helps to treat a certain type of depression called major depressive disorder. It may have other uses too. Bupropion comes in many forms. You are prescribed the extended release tablet. It's often taken one time each day in the morning. You should take it exactly how your doctor tells you to. Be sure to swallow your tablet whole and do not crush, cut, or chew it. You can take your dose with or without food. Most people tolerate this medicine well. Common side effects include nausea, dry mouth, constipation, joint pain, and a stuffy nose. You could also feel dizzy, anxious, or have trouble
Opposite
sleeping.
of diarrhea.
You should wait until you know how it affects you before doing activities that require you to be alert, like driving. If these or other side effects become reasons you want to stop taking this medication, please talk to your doctor or pharmacist. You should not suddenly stop taking this medicine unless your doctor says it's okay. As with any medicine, rare but more serious side effects can occur. With bupropion, this includes high blood pressure, vision problems, allergic reactions, and an increased risk of seizures.
But
It can
there's
also
more.
cause changes in
suicide?
mood, behaviors, and thoughts.
Seizures.
You should know that if thoughts of suicide
There we
or
go.
worsening mood or behavior
There we
ever
go.
occur, you should get help right away. You
Or
should read the
don't.
medication guide to know which symptoms to watch for and when to report changes. To help keep this medicine safe for you, your doctor will follow your condition closely.
So should I keep going or I just kill it? I think we know enough. Right?
Keep
Yeah.
going.
It's kind of like,
It's pretty bad for you.
yeah.
And
It's
that's
like,
that's a popular medicine. Wellbutrin.
was it called bupropion?
I like what was the name he had for your type of depression? Like super depressive,
Right?
something,
I
like
lost it when he said it. It was like, you're super depressed. So
super
here's a side effect.
disassociation, depressive, and
But one thing I'll say is this whole like QR code on medicine, I'm kind of digging that because like I'm one who like I want to know some stuff. Like that video freaked me out, and I'm like, you know, like no. But if I wouldn't have had the video, I might would have just
yeah,
like
you'd have to like
as
you
an
know,
uninformed
you'd have to
user.
seek it out. Yeah,
Big
you'd have to
Pharma
seek
got
it
their
out.
money, you know. So
yeah.
hey,
I wonder why they put that on there because I feel like that's a deterrent to take their medicine. You know, like
Yeah, for sure.
dude, that's like the commercial I see like every day I watch YouTube. It's like the lady sitting on the toilet while she's driving her car. I've got severe colitis. I'm like, dude, I don't have severe colitis. Get out of my freaking TV.
yeah. How did that get in the algorithm?
So I about fell in that trap, man. I'm pretty, I don't know, pretty happy with myself. I didn't go down that road.
Well,
Good
and
for
see,
you, bro.
one of the things. So I also co-host another podcast with Adam Muffish and Brett Wetzel, both from the Overtime fame and the other one from the Advanced Refrigeration Podcast fame. And this podcast is called Cooler Heads. And one of the things we talk about is like depression in the trades and like mindset and mental things. And also, yeah, my buddy Chris, HVACR videos there, him and his wife kind of came up with this idea long before we had this Cooler Heads idea. And not that we stole it from him, because I guarantee that's what he's thinking right now. It's like, they stole my idea. Everybody steals my ideas, and his ideas are the greatest. But he used to have this little series he would do with his wife, and they would talk about mental health and the challenges of maintaining like positive attitudes and just positive marriage and like all these various things. And I think depression is rampant in this industry. And a lot of guys, I mean, I used to do the same, is we just covered up with booze. You know, booze and black tape. That's it. You got a cut, use black tape. You sad inside, drink some booze. You'll feel better.
Yep.
Well, it's like,
Booze and duct
when
tape.
are you surrounded
Yeah.
by positivity, man? You either have a homeowner who's probably not super happy about either speed, time, performance, whatever you want to call it. Then you
Yeah.
got, you know, you may have a boss who's all about making money. You may have, you know, a supply house that's slowing you down from getting your job down. I mean, there's a mountain of things that could get in your way on a daily grind.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like the thing that I fell into is in this trade, I'm always looking for either what's currently wrong or what could possibly potentially go wrong in the future. So I'm just constantly bringing in this idea of like what's going to go wrong, what could happen, what's going to be bad, and if you're not conscious of that, you can fall into a pretty easily negative state of mind forever.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's tough out there. You know, you got a lot of corporate companies. They want to work you to the bone.
Mhm.
They want to
I would
tell
almost
you,
say like that video that you have, Chris, we should take that and tag it onto like, say, the next advertisement you see for like these HVAC schools. It could be HVAC tech. Well, here's some of the side effects that come with it. You get nauseous, you get diarrhea, mood is going to shift. Don't try this and drive at the same time.
Yeah.
See how it goes first. Like all those side effects are all things that I get from HVAC.
you may
Right,
be
yeah.
divorced in 2 years.
Yeah,
you
you might be divorced.
feel
Do you
lethargic,
like alcohol? Because you
you should-
will.
You shouldn't probably be around your kids for 2 hours when you come home. You know, like
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
dangerous for them. So
Yeah.
keep your distance from your family for an extended period of time when you get home from work.
Live in the shed for 2 hours before you come inside.
Maybe stop
Kinda
off at
cool
a strip
off,
club and just kind of decompress before you come home. all these things are just normal for HVAC technicians.
Yeah.
And then also, the one thing that goes along with that is like, if you ever have feelings, you don't want to talk to anybody else. Don't ever tell any of the other guys you work with how you feel or discuss it openly.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't be a wuss, man. Don't be a wuss.
Like
Nobody wants
Michael
to-
House says, don't be a wuss, don't
Yeah.
discuss your feelings.
Hey, here's your diploma. Get out there and get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like all these things are in, again, I don't like using like politically correct words like toxic masculinity or whatever you want to label it, but like all of these things, we all know it's just there. It's part of the background of being an HVAC tech,
Yeah.
Like if I was a NASCAR driver, I'm not going to get out and think, man, I'm sad today, guys.
Yeah.
Like, fuck up. Here's a brewski, bro. Like, let's
I
get on there
don't
and
feel
drive
like
in
going in
circles.
circles for 3 hours, man.
Yeah, it's just something that not a lot of people talk about. But
Yeah.
I mean, this trade, it'll
It's tough,
divorce
man.
it. It'll turn you into an alcoholic. It'll make you big, giant, and fat, and you'll be
Yeah.
dead before you can retire comfortably. There's so many things that this is a great trade. You can make a great living off this. You
Yeah.
can go far in this trade. But if you let these little things just beat you down and you don't take countermeasures against them,
Yeah.
you won't make it.
I
You just
totally
won't
agree
make
with
it.
you, man. I was doing that whole corporate thing. I was doing, like on call. I was doing plumbing. I was doing air conditioning. I was doing 60 hours a week on call. There was pictures of my life of 4 years where everybody took pictures, family photos.
Mhm.
I was always in a work. I was always in the blue shirt
Oh,
with the
yeah.
mic
man.
Yeah.
with the mic on it, right? And it was like, dude, I don't have any photos, man. And before you know it, you're like divorced. You got it's crazy.
You put
dude.
on
But
30 pounds.
yeah, you
alcoholic.
totally. I got that donut, around the belly.
Yeah.
It's
And
true.
I think church kind of helped me out a little bit, man. It kind of
Yeah.
centered me to, be more family oriented. Take
In
Sundays off, man.
kind of segueing
priority.
along those same lines, like church, like whether it's religion or like whatever it is, if you can't find a greater why, like a bigger, I don't think you're gonna go far either. Like for some,
Yeah.
for some it's church, for some it's the thought of divorce. For some it's they turn into a rage monster and smash their countertops, and
Bill, how does someone go about changing? Like, I want to get into some of the topics on what you would recommend people doing, to stay back in the lane of righteousness.
I like to speak from my own personal experience and let people draw the conclusion themselves if it coincides with things they're going through in life. Because I just feel that's easier for people to do. So I'm going to go that route. And for me, realizing that I needed to change, realizing when I needed to change, it started years ago, actually. And I could see, like divorce was on the horizon. I was just constantly depressed. I was drinking all the time. Like, I mean, drinking a lot, maybe about almost a fifth every night, 3/4 of a fifth at least, every single night. Yeah, every single night. I was up, at one point in time, I was up to 315 pounds, just a big fat dude. And I had gotten down to 250, just like white knuckling it, starving myself.
Right.
But I had a daughter.
It's not the way to go, man.
No.
Not the way to
and
go.
I had a daughter, and that was kind of about age 2 or 3. That's when I sort of really realized, when she started to, I don't know, how kids start to look at you, and you can tell they're learning from you. They're starting to see you as a role model, and they're starting to like learn from you. And that's when I really got to thinking and did some soul searching. I'm like, I should probably become a better person. For one, I want to be around longer, and 2, I don't want to be like yelling at my kid because she's doing kid things, right? So for me, that was sort of my wake up call. And I'm like, all right, I need to change. And it started with me with doing like the BetterHelp, the online counseling. I would see an in-person counselor, and I didn't really have a whole lot of success with that. And then it moved on to like, I think eventually I graduated from that, and I moved into, I have a life coach now. I've had my life coach for like the last 3 or 4 years. And even saying the word life coach is kind of like, it's woo woo. Some people are like,
it's like, ooh, wait, man.
People are like apprehensive about it. Like, you got a life coach. Like, I mean, what are you?
That's kind of cool, man. Tell me
one of
about
these
it.
queers or something? What are you talking about?
It's not Tony Robbins, is it?
I wish, man, if I could afford that, dude. But I will say, like, my life coach he's a he's been to numerous Tony Robbins events, and this is sort of like he learned the Tony Robbins system, and he's like sort of showing it to me, sort of
Right.
deal, right? You know, he's and this is his passion, is to become a coach. Like all he wants to do is help people, grow people, help people change their mindset. And when you meet
Yeah.
somebody like that and you click with them, like it's a beautiful thing, you know,
Yeah.
and it's not cheap.
How did you find this guy? Like, did you meet
Um,
him at church, or did
He
you
found
meet
him.
him online?
It was a random, just a random interaction through what group was that? I think it was Fit Dads on Facebook or something. It's not one of these. We're not talking anything like, you know, I'm not trying to meet fit dads for any other reason other than getting in shape, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not like the manometer. And
Yeah,
he just randomly messaged me.
Are
He's
you
like,
saying
hey,
it's not like Bumble? You're like, well, he looks pretty in shape now.
yeah, no, but like, wait a minute. Why everybody wants to meet up at truck stops? I don't understand. You know, it's like, I like to at least see your face before we do the deal.
Do not look through that hole, Bill.
Nobody does that. I'm like,
Left.
Do not look
I'm
through
like,
the
you're
hole.
telling, there's no way a sandwich is coming out of that tiny hole right there. I tell you what, I'm gonna get out of here.
Maybe a churro.
Yeah, maybe a churro. But you know, like I met him through this fit group on Facebook, and it was, you know, just a meeting by chance. And I talked to him, and he's like, "What are your goals?" And he's like, "This is what I do." And I was apprehensive at first because I'm very leery of people that come across as salesy, you know.
Yeah.
And so once we got that past that point, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not trying to be salesy and blah blah blah." And I was like, "You know, what you're saying lines up with what I want to do and what I want to be." And so I paid him a fair amount of money, and we've been working together ever since. And it's been a good thing for me. I'll say. I mean, it's opened my eyes to so much about myself. It's beyond amazing. If anybody out there wants to take their mental game to like the next level, I'm talking like, I couldn't even give you an example, but for me, the biggest mental change is understanding the behaviors that I go through have sort of just faded off in the background, and it's just
cool, man.
it's just a common reaction.
I love it.
And
I love
now
it.
I can
My
see
aunt
those
says,
behaviors.
you know, we go through a lot of negative thoughts, and we dwell on the negative thoughts. It's not good, man.
No. That's also one of my other faults. Default mode for me is negativity, pessimism. You know, it goes back to like, well, what can I find wrong with this situation? What can I find wrong with tomorrow? I haven't even lived tomorrow yet, but I tell you, I'm looking at my work schedule right now, and I'm like, well, this doesn't look good.
Right.
You know, and that's my default mode. I have
'Cause
one
that's
simple
what makes a
little
good
job.
technician. We know we know what's wrong.
I'm like, well, this is going to be a big giant turd pile. But the thing is like, really, is it really going to be that bad? I mean, I get paid great money to go do what I like to do. I get to go solve problems. I don't have the problem. I don't have this broken stuff. You know, like I'm sure it's worse for whoever it is that needs this stuff fixed, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm just sort of dealing with too, is reframing your mindset. And again, we should go back and tie all this in with food and eating healthy and bettering ourselves before I get off on too much of a tangent of self-help and coaching and all this stuff. But it sort of coincides with that. When you get in the mindset of wanting to better yourself and reframing your entire life, like these things become more important. It's not just
you're right though, man. It goes hand in hand, because if you've got that negative attitude and you worry and stress about what's negative today, you just want to go and see what's in the refrigerator, bro. You want to go grab another scoop of ice cream, right?
Well,
you said you have a problem with boredom eating, right?
Yeah,
that's your big issue.
And that I believe comes from back in the day when I was an alcoholic. I would come home, I would starve myself almost all day, because I don't know if you guys really drank a lot, but when you take that first drink on an empty stomach, it hits you great. It's a great feeling. And I recommend, if you've never tried it, go try it. Starve yourself all day and then take a big shot of whiskey. It's great. It's great fun. And that's what I would do every day. And I would drink till about 8, 9 o'clock at night. And then I would tie off my night with just a big old meal. And so now I don't have much to do. Like in the afternoons, I'll come home, it'll be 7, 8 o'clock. I'll do my adult chores. And, you know, by then it's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I used to be drunk. So, I mean, what do I do now? I try to read, but I'm too tired to read. I could do that, or I could not.
Let
do
me go
that.
on a successful, YouTube channel now.
See,
I got
and
time now.
that's sort of what I do. I peruse YouTube, but I need to have like multiple things going on where I'll peruse YouTube while I'm watching TikTok and I'm doing something else, to keep my attention. But if I don't have that stimuli going on, that's when I'll just go eat something, and I'll go downstairs. I'm just like a 200-pound raccoon downstairs. I'm just like getting into this. I'm like, I'm gonna eat a little bit of that. Then I have a cinnamon bun. Like it just happened last night. I was up until 11 o'clock just bumming around my computer, and I went downstairs, like this thing was tasty and then that thing was tasty, and next thing you know, I'm 1,000 calories over for the day.
Right.
And it happens.
Do you get up really early, or do you not get up really early?
I get up at 3:45 almost every morning, and by the time I brush my teeth, get downstairs into my what I now call my iron paradise, it's usually about 4:15. Now there are some days where I'll go downstairs and like I might snooze on the couch for 20-30 minutes, but it's usually I'm batting about 85%. I'm getting downstairs by 4 a.m.
So are you
Dude,
pulling off like
that's
a workout
awesome.
in the mornings, getting up that early?
Yeah, I get my workout in. I get my everything done before then, and my ultimate goal is get my steps in, get my workout done by about 6, and then I get upstairs and I read a little bit, whether it's a self-help book or like I got my new favorite book that I just started busting into, Unshakable.
Tony.
I'll read a little bit of that, or my other book, which is much heavier to move around. That book, I'll read that in the morning.
yeah.
My rack manual. But I try to do a little bit of that till about 6:30. So I get all my wins in before the day even starts. So the idea behind that is like the rest of the day should be cake. I've already won the day. I've already got everything that I need to accomplish done. I got my I'm bettering myself with my reading. My exercise is done. I got my meals planned and prepped and ready to go for the whole day. I mean,
I love it. I love it,
man.
I respect it, man. That's awesome.
It's impressive.
I
want to talk about these meal preps, but go ahead.
Because, dude, I used to read like 5 minutes of the Bible in the morning. It used to set me up for the day. I'd be like, just
you
like
get your win. You
like
you already won the
coffee,
day,
bro. Yeah,
you already won the day, and that goes along with making a positive mindset before you even walk out the door.
right. Exactly. It sets the tone, man. It really does.
Exactly. Yeah, it sets the tone. Exactly. It sets your intentions for the day.
All that head stuff. I leave it. I get in the van. I used to say to myself, it's funny you bring this up, man. I used to say to myself when I get in the van, all right, I'm put my work hat on. All that other drama is gone.
Oh yeah.
I used to like make a snap. Reminds me of that movie with Sylvester Stallone. He's over the top.
Oh yeah.
I turn my head backwards.
Wrap it over the top.
Yeah. What was that
And
line?
see, there's an actual.
It's go time.
There's an
That was
actual.
a great movie, by
I
the way.
forget the name of it, but
what is the terminology for that?
as I say, there's an
It's just
actual study
mindset.
about this. Like when you change your physiology, like you can change your mentality in like an instant. Like my coach pointed this out to me just the other day, actually, because I was telling him about how I tend to stay frustrated with my family more so than anybody else. And he's like, during that frustration, has work ever called you? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, how did you answer the phone then? I'm like, bright and cheery. I'm like, what's going on, guys? I'm here to help and blah, blah, blah. I'm a team player and this and that.
Yeah, what the heck?
And then I get off the phone and I'm, back to grumpy or frustrated or whatever the feeling was. And that's when we started to talk about the resetting your mind frame, your physiology. And, some people have that where they come home and they have like an imaginary hat. They take it off, they hang it on the imaginary hook next to their door. And that sort of physical movement can change your mindset in an instant. And all it takes is for you to be able to recognize the behavior that you have before you go into it.
Right.
I'm still working
It's
on that.
almost like a recognition. Yeah.
Because I just go right into these old behaviors, and then I catch myself on the tail end of it. I'm like, I should have handled that better.
So you're saying after you hurt somebody, you go, oh,
yeah.
At least
after
you're recognizing it, though.
After
That's
my kid goes to bed, and I'm like, I only get a certain amount of days on Earth with this kid,
right?
And
that
day wasn't a win. I didn't.
When you blink, it's over, man. It really is, man. But you recognize it. That's the important thing.
I recognize it, therefore I need to be
Yeah.
better. And to prolong these days, I also need to eat healthier and take care of my body, my physical body, along with
Yeah,
my
man.
mental side of things.
Yeah.
So getting into the what was it, Chris? You wanted to talk about prep?
Meal prep, man. Let's get into
Meal
meal
prep.
Like I know we went around the world back, but what we need to do is like the people who are like in service trucks right now.
Right.
How do they like? I believe a lot of this starts with eating right. If you
Mhm.
eat right, a lot of things will change. I think you can change mood with food, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
agree.
good at meal prep. I suck at meal prep. I'll be honest with you. Like, but I would like to meal prep for the week. I hear people do it. It sounds awesome. Your food's probably better if you meal prep for the week.
I
You're not
mean,
rambling trying to figure out what
You guys barbecue much?
I used
I
to a
don't.
lot, but now I haven't in a while.
Well, I got a smoker, so instead of when I cook for the family, we got a family of 4. So I usually do like 2 pounds of protein, right? Like a chuck steak.
mhm.
And I noticed I was like, I can grab like a 4-pound chuck, and I made the whole thing, and then I cut it up, and then I had like breakfast,
Yeah, then you have
lunch.
some for the rest of the week.
Yeah. So
It's like for me, I'm not a good cook. So, and I know that, and I don't really have a desire to learn to be a better cook. I learn I will out of necessity.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so like my go-to right now has been burrito bowls because they're easy. They
yeah,
last
yeah.
in the fridge. You
Nice.
know, I can
So-
throw them together on Sundays. It takes me like 2 hours.
I got a question about that. Are you digging these recipes up from somebody, or is this like just family meals that you kind of know about and you just put this thing
No,
together?
usually what I'll do is I'll go on YouTube and I'll just watch these other YouTube influencers. They
Oh,
have all these videos about meal prep, like meal prep for a week, and
Yeah.
they'll show you like the whole layout. Like I make this much, I cook this much ground beef, and I add this,
So
this, and this, and
TikTok meal prep is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
yep. And that's
I like Hello Fresh was fun, man, with the wife.
oh, see, I've always wondered about that. I wanted to try
know-
it, but
You know
it
what? Just
Man,
do it.
I don't know. Like,
Cancel it, bro.
seems like it's just expensive.
It helped. I don't.
I don't want to knock it. I think it's
It
okay.
was fun though.
Like
It
those
was fun
meal,
to cook with the wife,
Hmm.
the meal
So-
prep for me, man, they don't work. I'm sorry.
But think about it though. It gives you a little bit of skills, man.
Well, in sort of on the same lines as Hello Fresh, I would go to the store and I would get these pre-made frozen meals because they make a good selection
Right.
of pre-made frozen meals that are pretty healthy for you. Like
Yeah,
I'm talking 250, 300 calories for this little like stir fry with chicken, the dressing or the sauces on the side. So you just throw that away, steam it, put it in a bowl, boom, you're ready to go for the next day. And there's also, before I get too far down that rabbit hole, there's 2 types of meal prep in my opinion. One is like you prep your food for the next day, or you prep your food for like, let's say, the whole week. So I do a little of both. Like I do my burrito bowls on Sunday, and I have like for the whole week. This means like if I get hungry, I can just go grab it. If I have a long day, Tuesday or whatever, I know at the end of the day I just grab my stuff out of the fridge and I'm ready to go for the next day.
Yeah.
And then like in the morning I'll just do a quick scramble. Some egg whites, 200 grams of egg whites, a little bit of onions, peppers, boom. I mean that takes you 5
Your
minutes.
burrito bowl will hang out till like Thursday and Friday, and that tastes like it tastes good by Thursday and Friday.
It really does. It really and see that has become a learning process though. Like
But
when you meal
you're
prep.
separating everything though in the fridge.
No, I mix it all together.
Wow.
And that's what I found out is that's part of the secret to it, especially with the rice. I don't know if you guys ever make rice, but I make rice in Instapot, and I've
Dude,
been like,
we make rice like we're Puerto Ricans over here, bro.
see, in like, so if you put it in the fridge for like 2 days, it's like a rock. It's
Yeah, I
fossilized and
know.
you can't
I
eat
just
it.
had some. It's like eating
And it's
like
like-
sand.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good
sad.
that you make stir fry with leftover rice. That's because if you
The-
make stir fry with new rice, it's gummy and it sticks together. So
And
old
what
rice
I've
is how they make stir fry.
what I've found is like with the rice, if I mix it, because I put like diced tomatoes in there, I got my
Right.
beans, my
So it
onions,
takes the moisture
caramelized
from
onions.
the tomatoes. Okay.
Exactly, and it kind of like
Gotcha.
it coats the rice. So at the end of day 7, it's a
Damn, I
little
gotta
dry,
start
but you
writing
throw it in
this
the
stuff down.
microwave. It's honestly not bad. Like I literally have no problem eating it. But
I didn't know Bill was so deep, man.
I mean,
Damn.
my early
Should've had
on
Bill
meal
on
prep,
earlier.
it was gross. Like my early on meal prep was just, I was like, this kind of lifestyle just isn't for me. Like my sandwiches were always soggy. which is another thing. Like if you want to pack sandwiches, that's fine. They make keto bread. They make all sorts of healthy choices for
Yeah.
your sandwiches. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
I went down the keto route, man. It is rough.
yeah, I mean, they have some good. I don't do keto, but they have a lot of good low calorie options now. Like the keto bread. I mean, you're talking 35 calories a slice for a slice of bread. Like that's
Oh, dude, I'm done
that
with
goes
it.
from like
I did it for like 2 years. I was in shape, very, very, very slim, but
mhm.
I gained it back in about a month and a half.
Well, like you can go from having the Wonder Bread, which is roughly 120 calories per slice, and then you throw some ham on that, maybe some mayo, and a healthy slice of lettuce. I mean, you got a 300 calorie sandwich right there. You
Yeah.
get some keto bread, some ham, maybe even a little low calorie mayo. You got a 100 calorie sandwich. You can now have 2 of those. You got double the volume, less calories. So even making small changes like that, like the keto bread, in my opinion, doesn't taste any different.
And you're you're using an app, Bill, to like track calories? Like
I
one thing
use-
I'm not good at is tracking calories. Like
I use
I don't know.
MyFitnessPal.
You're
What
what?
do you track? Okay.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal, and it's got a little barcode scanner on there. Like I pay for the premium, so I don't know if
Okay.
if
That's
they
cool.
there was talks that they took away the barcode scanner from the just the free basic port. But I mean, there's Lose It. There's another one out there that's that's free and it's pretty good. But MyFitnessPal, I just scan it. Whatever I'm eating, flip it over, barcode, boom, type it in.
Let me
And
ask you
then-
this question. What's your thoughts on like when people go to lunch? Like here's a little secret I found like when I wanted to eat good and I didn't want to spend a chunk of money, I
Mhm.
go to like mom and pop grocery stores. They always serve like fresh food, man, like packaged ready to go. You might buy a meal
Yeah.
for like $7-10
Oh,
bucks,
yeah.
but it's like really good. I'm not saying it's always healthy, but I bet there's some healthy options in there, but it's better than going probably through the drive-through.
I mean,
You gotta know your town, man. You got like
Like,
all
if
the
we're
HVAC
talking-
guys like talk and they know the spots, like a burrito joint.
Oh yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
if we're talking like protein hacks, we'll say like Walmart. You can go to Walmart, buy a giant rotisserie chicken for $5.
Right?
Take home, peel the skin off, take it all. I used to buy 2 or 3 of those at a time. I would take them home and I would do what I call process them. I would just pick all the bones out, take all the protein, put it in a bowl, and I would literally just have that for the whole week. Just
Yeah.
this big bowl of chicken. I would sometimes mix it with things, but it was $15 for a whole week of already cooked. I didn't have to cook it, didn't have
Cannot
to season
beat
it.
that. For the price,
You can't
bro?
beat that. No.
Hell no.
I like the idea of that, man. With making I think I'm gonna go back to my chicken salad sandwiches for a while. I like chicken salad. I don't know about anybody. Like, man, you could make chicken salad taste really good if you know how to.
It sounds like it's got a lot of mayo in it, though.
Right?
It does,
Yeah.
man. But I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm running enough where I could burn
Yeah.
off a little bit of mayo.
The problem
I-
is I'm allergic to chicken, bro. It's kind of crazy when meal prepping, man.
Oh
like
yeah,
Never.
I'm like the whole like I go out to dinner, it's like, oh, that's half the menu.
yeah. I was about to say, man, allergic
Man.
is like, not being able to breathe air.
Yeah. I'm half cow right now.
I've never heard of that. Yeah, being allergic to chicken, huh?
Yeah, I know like 2 other dudes. That's it. And one of them was
Yeah.
an HVAC guy.
You and that one other guy in the world call each other for ideas.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah. What are you eating now?
You know who needs to be in your circle. I mean, that pretty much sums it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, that one other guy.
Yeah, there's
I,
probably
I love going to Chick-fil-A for the family, bro. I'm like, yeah, I'll get a water. And
I have a water with ice,
you got coffee here? No.
side of
All right.
ice.
give me some of them breakfast hash browns.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro,
Yes.
give me. I could do eggs. So I'm like, yo, Chick-fil-A.
mean,
If
a
you're
lot of this
watching,
stuff
throw
is-
me like an omelet, something.
It's cooked
Omelet
in the
burrito.
same oil as chicken, though, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that seems risky.
I mean, are you like deathly allergic, or is it just like how
Kind
bad
of
is
like EpiPen ready. Yeah. It's
Wow,
Wow.
man, that's
kind of
crazy.
messed up, man.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I wonder what it is about
crazy.
chicken that makes you, because I mean, it seems like it's just a simple protein.
Yeah.
And if your
Yeah.
body can't process that protein, I would almost assume it had problems with other protein.
And it's not like my buddy's allergic to shrimp. It's not like if I put chicken. Oh, did I freeze?
There we
Oh,
go.
you're good. You're good. Tell us.
Yeah,
tell us about you rubbing chicken on your skin.
Oh no, I'm saying my buddy, he's allergic to shrimp. So my buddy's hilarious, bro. He's Puerto Rican, right? And he tells me a story. He goes, one time my cousin, he throws a shrimp at me, hit me in the side of the neck, and my whole neck swelled up. I was like, bro, you're people on an island. How are you guys allergic to shrimp? You're surrounded by shrimp.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
But me, I mean, I can like Thanksgiving. I'll take the whole turkey apart. My hands last Thanksgiving were a little itchy, but maybe it was in the head.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like so, turkey. Can you eat turkey?
No.
I mean, that's. Yeah, I guess that's close
I
enough to.
I did duck one time, but I don't know if it was a fluke. So yeah,
Interesting.
poultry, basically poultry. Yeah, turkey, chicken, really bad. I did a Publix Greenwise chicken one time. That was fine. And yeah, that was weird. And then the next time I went with the Greenwise brand, it's like a healthy, non-steroid brand. I felt a little funny. I was like, all right, I'm off.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm out of here. So
Well,
yeah.
Guys, here's what I want to do. We're going to close out the show, and everybody gets one last statement to tell the audience on what they should do to keep it full circle with this Going Healthy movement. What are we going to do? Mike, you lead us off.
Bro, I'm already starting, man. I'm not doing the ice cream with the kids at night. My 6-year-old, she is an ice cream monster. So I'm like, I'm out. And I'm gonna start exercising a little bit more. I'm gonna get on the ice skates, maybe do a little rollerblading.
A blader guy, huh?
Yeah, I used to play with a little roller hockey when I was little. So I'm gonna hit it up, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm going to continue. I have a bunch of other things going on in the background, but the foreground of things that I'm currently in the process of changing that I think get me to that next step of losing like this last 20 pounds, hitting my goals, maybe even doing this thing that Chris calls jogging or running or something like that, trying that out someday. But for me, that looks like this whole boredom eating and eating when I'm not hungry, just eating because it enhances your mood. It's just,
dude, I'm with you, bro.
That's one of my major downfalls. Intuitive eating or mindfully eating, is what they call it.
Yeah.
And that's my focus. And with this new group that we have, hopefully that's.
Dude, I'm gonna start dropping some more in that group, man.
We're gonna get there. All right, here's what I'm gonna say. First things first. I have decided I will never ever take a medicine again unless that has a QR code that I can scan and get the full video experience. I've learned that I got to dig deeper before I just decide to take a doctor's hey, I'm gonna give you this.
Yeah, man.
So that's my one big one. So watch what you're taking. Just because the degree's there, don't trust it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And 2, I've got 2 goals. I've got a soft target goal and a long target goal, or a soft target that I know I'll probably hit, and then a hard target I'd like to hit. And I signed up for a half marathon in October, and I'm going to go for it. And I want to put down a pretty good pace. And then my hard.
Dude, October, that's 3. No way. That's it's May. Yeah. You got 5 months.
I got plenty of time.
You got some time.
My goal is, I would say I would be really, really proud of myself if I do another marathon in life. I've done one. I'd like to do a second one. It's really, really hard to prepare for it.
I could take a vacation down a marathon in the Keys if you want. That's the only marathon I'm doing.
I'd follow you on a bike.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I could use somebody following me on a bike.
I could hit you with my super soaker.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, the last marathon I ran, man, it was 10 years ago. It was brutal, and I remember my wife's over there watching me. She's like, "Don't do that." And I took 2 cups of water and I just poured it down my legs and let all the water go to my shoes. She's like, "You're gonna regret that."
Oh yeah, see, now you're running in heavy, sloppy shoes.
I was running in soaking wet socks and shoes, but I'm gonna tell you, I didn't get one blister, and my shoes were dry by the time I got to the end, and I didn't regret it.
Can you imagine what those things smelled like?
Yeah, I wore those shoes out, man. Good times.
Bill's encouraged me waking up at 3:30 in the morning, man.
Yeah,
let's do it, man. Woo! Tomorrow, if I remember, we'll do it with let's do a push-up challenge tomorrow morning.
I like it.
This HVAC group turned into a self-help. What's going on?
4:30. As soon as you get up, just start moving. Get up, go downstairs.
Yeah.
Just bang out a bunch of push-ups, and I mean, you should have enough blood pumping through your veins at that moment to get up and do something.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It's time to get your hustle on. See
That's
you,
right.
everybody.
See you guys.